All right, welcome back to the Frontline Gaming Community's Summer Draft Series, week number 2. I'm brought back with Rainstorms. Rainstorms,
Hey,
how was that last series? Were you able to watch?
yeah, I was able to watch. That was incredible just watching that, especially considering the last game we had. A little bit of a snoozer in comparison, but a lot of scoring, a lot of great passing plays between the teams too, and so just high octane offense.
Are you surprised that it still went as a sweep? That game number 3, back and forth, the offense was always they're just trading leads the whole way, and it just seemed to always come out in the Bandits' favor. And that, especially that game number 3, definitely drama surrounding it. I think we had 4+ minutes of overtime at that point.
Yeah, little ridiculous, but actually, as we're looking up in this next one, looks like a little bit of a early start between the teams here. I think somebody might have joined before we were ready.
Oh, we'll just treat it as a server test. They get some time. It's fine.
All right, sounds good.
Well, that's
um,
exactly why I elongated some of the times by 5 minutes. So, they can take it. It's not real. They just need to make sure they know that. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so we have Nifty's Ninjas. Nifty was actually going to be with us today. He originally had put Mai Tai on the roster, but Nifty will be subbing in instead with Apple Pie Hunter and Showstopper. So the only change on this list is actually them not having Mai Tai and using Showstopper instead. And he showed out really well in the combines.
He did, and that'll be interesting to see because last week for the Ninjas, especially in that game one, Mai Tai was really one of the only offensive producers for the team, and so it'll be interesting to see how they cope without him.
Yeah, he was able to kind of utilize what do you call it? A lot of good passing plays from Apple Pie Hunter, and I don't know if it's going to be the same with Showstopper. Showstopper though was really good in terms of offensive pressure whenever he was able to do his combines. So, but
Are
we
you
have these.
expecting another sweep?
I. I, I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think the Knights will find a way to at least win one game in this. It is still going to be against them. They are at a disadvantage, I think, just in terms of time. Because even with the sub out of Mai Tai instead in lieu for Showstopper, it's still they've been playing with him, and so it's not as if this is new concept and team. Whereas Odin is still trying to gel and mesh between both Baby D and Smooth Justice. Now, they started to in a few of those games. The first one was crazy, just out off the wall, like separation was very high contrast. 7-2 didn't really play for the Knights to really get good practice or anything. But as time went on, they got their footing, they dug their heels in. It didn't play out in their favor, but I think they'll have at least a better time against these ninjas because the Avalanche, admittedly, really, really tough team to play against.
Hmm. And that'll just be interesting to see how the Knights kind of come back from their snafus and their miscues in game one. See if they can really update any of their gameplay or their strategy going into this one, especially against a an opponent that they've seen plenty of gameplay from already.
Oh yeah, they took both of their games, went 2-0 for the week 1 start, and the Ninjas, they had a recoil from that first game loss against the Mob, and then the Mob crumpled under the Ninjas' pressure. Definitely, I think Apple Pie enabled them to do a lot of what they did in a good way, and so really cool to see that. And then who the Ninjas also played against the Bandits, correct? I think.
I believe so, yes.
And so the Bandits were relying just as heavily on Bags at that point, and the Bandits didn't really hit their stride until their second series of that week of last week, and so they and especially if we just saw the Bandits of new and not the Bandits of old, completely different team. And so don't know exactly what to spell for the Ninjas just yet, but they know how to at least win against current opponent. So can't
Yeah.
can't hate them for that.
No, no. And unfortunately, what I've learned about myself is whatever team I throw support behind usually ends up losing. And so I don't want to give any caster curses to teams in this matchup going forward. So I think I'm going to keep my support a little secret.
So you have your support, but you have what do you think is your mathematical advantage? Who do you think is has at least an edge here.
Oh man, I don't know if I should even go that far. uh, what I would like to see personally is the Ninjas to come out strong in this one and kind of maybe take advantage of the fact that the Knights are playing with a new teammate that they're not used to working with and gelling with. And so hopefully they can take advantage of that early on before any extra practice in this practice game right now that they're playing or in just the general match starts to help out the team play dynamics between the Knights and their newfound teammate.
Yeah, because even if the Knights, if you can, maybe not all three members be on the same page, but if they can at least get two on one page and two on another page and make those separate plays and offenses work, then it's all the better. And so if they can get like what Baby D and Odin to work together, Smooth and Odin work together, Baby D and Smooth on the just separate combos, and not have to worry about a 3-man like full mesh team play passing event going down the field, then I think they have a chance. And Odin isn't a slouch. He's there. He needs to kind of, I don't know, get his timing a little bit better. A few unnecessary misses occurred down along the way, but then we also saw him go super heavy on the defense. And so maybe they just need to play him as the third man back, and Baby D and Smooth Justice can just go forward. So play a 2-1 kind of deal.
Yeah, and that is something that you would want to see from them. Just taking anything that they learned about their team play dynamics in that first game and being able to adjust and being able to adapt to the new challenger that they're going to face here in a few seconds.
Yep, and it looks like they're finally winding it down, and we're going to be able to actually get in game. They had enough fun, I think, and enough extra practice. Hey, you know, it's always nice to basically having a friendly live and wasting our time. It's okay. It's okay. They can waste our time.
A lot of extra scoring in this fake game to prolong their extra time of practice, but 3 seconds left to go, and so.
Hey, you know what? At least it ended.
Here we go. Yeah.
Well, the Knights at least took a victory in this first one. No, I mean, you know, a scrim. We're going to call it a scrim. For funsies, of course. But finally, we're about to see the Ninjas face off against the Knights. I'm not going to call it hopes and dreams, but I want this to be competitive. And so let's see if our third game of this week 2 for the Summer Draft Series is not going to be a sweep. Is this going to be sweep weekend? I didn't bring enough brooms for that, and I don't think our crowd who's watching did either.
I certainly didn't, but hey, it'd be nice to end a little earlier this week, wouldn't you say?
I mean, true. I could go for some ice cream. It has been raining a while, and I probably need to mow the lawn. So there's things to do and people to see. Apple Pie immediately going for a shot that's just going to hang over the crossbar. Odin and Baby D combine for a clear. Showstopper is one of the few people that rocks the, I actually don't know the model of that car, but it's really cool. It's like from Fast and the Furious, I think? I may be wrong.
I don't believe it's from that content patch, but it does look like it could be in there.
Well, that just shows what I know about cars. Nifty, always rocking the Batmobile, is going to try and chase down Smooth Justice, who's centering it up over Apple Pie Hunter. Oh, a nice save from just in front of the crossbar again. Smooth Justice to Baby D. Baby D just rising up like a rocket ship and flying his way out of the play. We are in Neo Tokyo, home field to our beloved Ninjas. Good high loft. Baby D unable to grab it, but and most of these Knights are just a little, they've seen too many things. They're having to play in an away and away today, and Apple Pie sending that one away to give the Ninjas a lead.
Yeah, great little touch here from Apple Pie. One, to catch it on his hood, and two, the second touch to get it just past Odin, the last man back.
That's one of those where the defender, they have to kind of hone in on a lane of a shot and just predict to some degree where it's going to go, and didn't quite sight it off of Apple Pie. Odin applying some pressure early from kickoff, unable to really benefit from it. Nifty, minimum for boost. Odin standing in front of Baby D to take the defensive pressure away. Oh, Nifty. Nifty keeping in the field of play, and Apple Pie just barely missing that shot. Now that Takumi rolling out. Is Odin less for boost, or is he just trying to play the long con? I'm not sure. Baby D will lift up on this one. Take it from the corner. He is good for boosts, but he's kind of missing those corner shots, not able to really capitalize on it. Oh, and just Odin. Taking himself out of the picture, and that'll be 2 goals for the Ninjas.
Yeah, and that's a really quick 2-0 lead, all on the tape of Apple Pie Hunter with that long shot.
It looked like Odin was actually opting for boost and thought maybe that someone was already rotating behind him, because that's quite a lot of open tarmac to just leave undefended.
My friends and I have a saying, it goes, get greedy, get deleted.
I like it. That's good. Oh, the Knights should have been greedy on that one, as that one was a nice open center from Smooth, and none of them were able to get an easy score off of it. Showstopper. Haven't really seen much of them, been kind of quiet for the time being, but starting to get louder. Nifty. Again, sending it to a back line that is just barely populated by Smooth Justice on the defense. Odin now, oh, trying to run back to it. Him and Baby D kind of cruise into one another. Just enough to, oh, an own goal by Smooth Justice gives Apple Pie a hat trick.
Yeah, not the usual way that a player earns a hat trick, is Apple Pie just sends it down, and Smooth Justice, I think, tried to send it back up towards the crossbar, but couldn't get enough height on it.
You got to feel for these Knights. They are all out of sorts. They've had to go all the way up the mountain to try and defeat the Avalanche, and now they've gone all the way across the ocean to have to play in Neo Tokyo, and now Nifty picking up a goal.
Yeah, good little read off of the wall here for Nifty, angling his car down just a bit so that it doesn't get any air, and that puts it right out of reach of both defenders for the Knights. And as you were saying, it sounds like they've fallen on their only sword.
They had one sword, one sharpening stone, and it broke. And now they're trying to just use their shields to just batter these ninjas into submission, and it's not working. They have that finesse roll, I think. It's a little bit of dex. I don't know. I've done less D&D references today, and I think I need to meet my quota.
Something, natural 1.
Ah, there we go. Always good. Smooth Justice, less for boost as it got stolen from these ninjas. Baby D crossing Pelicans with Odin. Baby D trying not to own goal again. Smelling blood. But they are not sharks. They're just ninjas. They couldn't.
A little bit of a double commit there from Ninjas, and I think Showstopper kind of got in the way of Apple Pie there a little bit, or maybe it was a bit of vice versa. But a goal taken away from, as I said earlier, get greedy, you get deleted.
Oh, that's going on a t-shirt. I love it. Oh no, Odin playing it out from the corner. Baby D knocking it out of Showstopper's way, and now we're seeing a little bit of a mesh forming a little bit late in this game. Apple Pie off on the right wall. Baby D is a little bit ahead of it, but Smooth Justice actually serves it up to him. Baby D with a no touch. Is it gonna just bounce in? No! Nifty made sure that miscue did not go and fully manifest itself.
Yeah, Ninja's almost letting in the beach ball there.
It's one of those that you just find at a concert. Oh, and a nice extra effort by Odin to kill that momentum. But Nifty nearly going for an extra kill shot of his own.
Odin once again kind of electing to go back a little bit for boost. And it ended up not costing him, as Ninja will send it off the crossbar and not in.
Smooth Justice trying to create pass plays with himself and anyone that might take it. He'll even allow the ninjas to get in on the matter, but he just wants something to work out for these Knights. Nifty, now the long clear. Odin killing the momentum, sent into the wall, but it's immediately met by Showstopper. He's not stopping the show yet. Oh, but he's stopping Smooth Justice version of the show. Baby D with a good clear, sends out to the right wall. He's gonna have to drive it up from the ceiling. It's gonna go from just outside the net. Odin. Oh, he barrel rolls too early, or a little bit too late. Too narrow on it. Now Smooth and Baby D just opening up the field to Apple Pie's next goal.
Yeah, and just to cement their victory here, Apple Pie gets this nice little pass from Showstopper as he's able to redirect that. Great play, great heads-up play, but that will make 4 goals for Apple Pie.
Showing out like he was starting to at the beginning of last week. Definitely putting the ninjas on his shoulders and just, working him with a Takumi. Game number 1 goes to the ninjas.
And that's tough to watch for Knights because they've played 4 games so far today, losing each one in a pretty spectacular manner. These weren't close games by any stretch. And so you wonder if they might be gripping the controller a little bit too hard, knowing uh, that their performance today is not necessarily what's indicative of their usual style of play.
Definitely, this is not the Knights that we know, especially after seeing them in Week 1, and that is strictly, I believe, a personnel change and a personnel just deficit as they have kind of reach into the playbook and reach into the reserves to even field a team for today, and it's not. I'm not gonna call it not fair, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, especially when that just happens to occur with one of the most intensive first 2 week schedules in the league, and so you got to feel for them. Definitely, the worst that could happen after this weekend is going even 500, and they'll be 2-2. They've set themselves up for at least having some kind of buffer, so it's not the worst situation in the world.
Mm-hmm. Their fantastic performance to come back against all odds in that first week of play is really going to kind of cushion the fall if they're not able to get it done in this series.
I mean, I've seen a timeless warrior be able to put his shield under his feet and slide on down the mountain. So maybe they'll be able to do something similar, try new tricks, become the Knights, the Neo Knights that could exist in this Neo Tokyo.
Is that a Breath of the Wild reference?
Yes, it is. You are correct. You are awesome. Thank you so much. You got my Yu-Gi-Oh reference, and you also got my Zelda reference. Fantastic. A lot of hard pressure. 3 shots in the first 10 seconds by these Knights, and surviving the onslaught. The Ninjas keep them even at 0.
Yeah, Knights coming out with a really early blitz just to send volley after volley towards the net. But you've got to pay a lot of credit to Ninjas for being in the right spot at the right time for each and every shot.
Oof, that's one of those where I don't even know if you can practice it. That's all instinct and just survival at that rate.
And looking at the stats, each player on the Ninjas got 1 save for that, and so it was definitely a team effort.
Now that's one of those situations that would happen in D&D. Just cha-cha-cha, and then 3-7 members, pa-pa-pa, block-block-block. Fantastic. I'm getting too nerdy. It's okay. Odin's going to grab this clear, send it up to the far wall where Showstopper was waiting, but ends up doinking it up. Odin has decided to go back to the Batmobile. He feels most comfortable with a flatter, longer car. Oh, Baby D is lucky that one was not any narrower, as it just barely hits the post.
This is the second time today we've seen Odin change his car mid-match, and you gotta wonder if he's putting a lot of faith into that car swap.
Ooh. It's a difference of style I've heard from many different people. I've existed on the Octane for a while. I've used the Merc a few times. It's a fat boy of difference, and so maybe it's gonna help him out. Right now, it's not gonna help him out, as Nifty sends it long and strong and puts him up 1-0.
Yeah, Nifty opening up scoring here with this little pass from the wall from Apple Pie Hunter, able to get that great redirect. Unfortunately, catching Knights with their pants down a little bit as nobody was back to defend. I struggled to think of what a Knight would wear for pants.
I'm just gonna call it armor to the rear. You know, that's about all I can come up with. I guess if we were playing PUBG, it would be a pan. So, yeah. Odin and Baby D trying to take turns on who's going to get this clear. Odin going for the long strike, but Nifty was in good rotation. A lot of what that first goal was for the Ninjas in this game was, well, I didn't have time to explain it as Nifty Ninjas get goal number 2.
Nifty with his second goal of the game, reading that right off the wall before it gets to that tricky little corner where if it bounces off, you don't know where it's going to go. So great job from Nifty to take advantage of that.
I think he was jealous of Apple Pie's hat trick from earlier, so I think he's going to be going for his own. But definitely these rotations for the Knights are just kind of playing against them. They have these really good attacks, these really nice plays, but if you just can't recover after the fact, then it's not going to happen. You're going to get played on immediately. Smooth sending it downfield. 2 defenders from Ninjas waiting in the corner. Showstopper will loft this one up. It goes a bit slow. Baby D getting played by Apple Pie. This one goes streaking back to the far end. BD and Smooth kind of playing to one another. Oh, a nice turnaround. What a good bit of ball control there. Love that play by Baby D.
Great way to take it away from the Ninjas. Just keeping it on his own rear bumper through that as he turns around.
Oh, Odin striking it back. Batmobile to Batmobile. Smooth Justice going to have to meet. It's a Captain v Captain in the corner. Apple Pie is going for the shot, but stopped. Odin is going to try and get a nice long flick. Odin again. Less for boost. Cannot follow up on it as he sends himself out of the play. Smooth Justice. Oh no, Baby D's last man back. All the Knights trying to go shields up, play some good defense. One of the things that we saw last weekend, different personnel of course, but they're able to play good hard defense and make the shots that they were able to take count. They have to replicate that effort going into this. And nice good clear from off the post is Odin.
What I'm noticing early on, especially from Knights, is that their control on their boost meter is not as great as Ninjas right now, and two things are contributing to that. One, whenever the Ninjas go into the offensive zone, especially Apple Pie Hunter, they usually leave after stealing some of the boost from the Knights, and so that's really kind of causing them a lot of issues with saves.
Baby D trying to, oh, that was the most open net that they have had yet, and just unable to control it as well and magnificently as he did on the wall earlier. Smooth Justice gonna go for this strike. It goes high, and Baby D unable to use that center. Odin left all alone. This is gonna be going off to the post, and Smooth Justice peeled out on it.
Like you said earlier, he was jealous of Apple Pie's hat trick, and so here we go, getting a great little pass from Showstopper. Nifty able to come up and lob it into the open net for his own hat trick.
Yeah, you definitely got to feel that it's rough and it's tough, and you don't want the Knights to give up. You know that they're facing a very, very tough disadvantage right now, and you can just sense the frustration through their gameplay. They're running out of boosts, which means just desperate, hard strikes every single time they're running up, and then they're getting 50'd away. Nothing's in their favor right now.
Doesn't seem to be that way, unfortunately.
And Showstopper just wants to get in the mix for once.
Solidifying their win yet again, making sure not only do they get the shutout, but they get this nice little slam dunk to solidify their place in this victory.
Ninjas take game number 2 as we head to get a match point in game number 3. What can the Knights do? Obviously, it's not all on Apple Pie. Apple Pie was barely there in that game. Nifty just took it upon himself, and it's one offensive asset after another for these Ninjas to use against the Knights.
I think for the Knights, a couple things that they really need to work on. One, I will say this, that their rotation seems to be a little bit better than what I was seeing in game 1, and so that's a demon that they really needed to work on, that they seem to have gotten better at. But I think really they need to be a little bit more aggressive on the ball so that they're not giving as much time and space for the Ninjas to set up the kind of plays that they are doing right now, because most of the scoring from the Ninjas is coming off of great passes from teammates or otherwise great opportunities from the ball being there for long periods of time. And so I think if the Knights are able to get a little bit more pressure, especially in the offensive zone, that they'd be a lot better.
Oh, I definitely want to see more of the combos that we were trying to talk on earlier, to that matter, because, I mean, if they're going to get offense going, they need to have these passes going, and it seemed like a lot of, they're trying to hope for the breakaway and like that solo effort to just make a lane occur versus creating it themselves. Now, the best part of last game was the first 10 seconds. That seemed like a full-out blitz attack that almost could have happened. And it was steps away from being just an amazing, you can't call it anything but a blitzkrieg. It was great. So I want to see more of that.
Just an all-out show of force, expertly handled by the defenders of Ninja.
Odin taking this one from Apple Pie. Odin's going to have to, Odin and Baby D, a lot of these pressures coming from Smooth Justice. Oh, but Showstopper pressuring it up into the upper 90 and a good hard dunk.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Smooth Justice here. He goes up to clear it into the corner, but Smooth Justice goes up there, Showstopper goes up there to ensure that 50-50 goes down for a slam dunk.
Oof. That's one of those, pretty sure Showstopper didn't know exactly what was going to happen. He was taking a hard shot, but that bouncing dunk was inches away from making it up and over. But Showstopper, I think, is going to try and take his turn at trying to get a hat trick.
Man, if we could see a hat trick by a different player in each of the 3 games, that'd be something. But he's taken a page out of Michael Scott's book, and the quote of, "You miss every shot you don't take."
Wayne Gretzky.
Michael Scott.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Smooth Justice going to try and take this up from Baby D, but Apple Pie immediately just throwing it across. Baby D again is there to play some level of defense. Odin tripping it out from Nifty. You gotta think Nifty is nothing but pleased with his team. It's a different type of Knights that they're facing off against, but as a captain, doing very well. They'll be starting off, if this does not change, they'll be starting off the season at 3-0, but Baby D has something to say about it.
The first goal from Knights in this entire series so far comes off of an excellent read from Baby D as Showstopper sends it off the wall, trying to clear it, but unfortunately centers it up right in the perfect spot.
Baby D is good at playing the angles when they exist on the opposite end. Very, very good. He struggles a little bit with defensive turnarounds and rotation, but if you can get him to the midfield of the opponent's corner, it plays well in his favor. Smooth now with a good center. It's going to go far corner, and an epic save by Apple Pie keeps it from ringing true. Baby D going to play this slow. He ends up popping over to Smooth Justice. Smooth Justice back to Baby D. Baby D playing the angles. Odin, because he was deleted earlier, is unable to commit to the rest of the play as well. Otherwise, I think that would have been very, very good for these Knights. Ooh, yeah. Baby D getting rid of. And again. Demos everywhere. The world is on fire.
Really unfortunate for Baby D as he gets demolished, and then as soon as he comes back into the game, not sure if this was intentional, but he gets demolished for the second time, effectively taking him out of any defensive chances.
Ooh, Baby D and Smooth Justice. Will Oda get it? He does! And we have a tie!
My goodness, the Smooth Justice right here with a great little pass off of his rear bumper to Baby D and a team play effort to send it to Odin, who buries it in that bottom 90 away from the defenders.
That's one of those where that you needed your third man, and when the third man showed up, it scores and it works. That's what we want to see from these Knights. They can do that. They've pushed the ninjas into a fun place. Oh, and again, Odin already putting up the hard shots. Smooth ran out of boost as he went up for a double tap. The Knights suddenly finding life. Baby D, oh, this is going to go center up to the Knights net, but it's a good clear out from Smooth. Baby D getting punted along with the ball to the opposite end of the pitch. Oh, but Baby D again. He's just going to drop it in. No. Apple Pie playing it from the post. Smooth Justice is going to put it back center, and it's going to be Captain v Captain. Nifty winning out. This one's rolling over. Apple Pie again. The Ninjas may be feeling overconfident at this point. Smooth Justice is going to have to turn on it. The Knights are going to have to play into their favor. That one! The post is playing as extra defender, and Baby D can't get past Nifty.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate for the Knights. Apple Pie just trying to send it off that upper 90, but sends it off that corner as it bounces down to Nifty, and Nifty gets a shot before Baby D can get there and uses his car to block the forward progress of Baby D to take away any save chances.
It was really close. Smooth Justice, I think, committed too much to angling upwards to try and get an extra clear out of it. He should have just stayed low and waited, or at least for something different to occur. But that's all in the past now, as they're still down by 1. They've put out the best showing they've had so far against these ninjas. Odin, oh, a nice, kind of a fake pass situation. That was actually really pretty. Oh, and Baby D doing the demoing now. He's tired of being on the butt of that joke.
2 demolishes attributed to him, so he's going to send out a little bit of his own. Ooh, and really chippy from both teams right here to open up the last couple minutes of this game 3.
Oh, remember how we were talking about there being demo penalties? Well, I think we should have handed out a couple at this point. Showstopper
Potentially, yeah.
handed it off, got himself a demo, and Apple Pie took advantage of there being 2 defenders flying out of net.
Scoring going all around for these ninjas as now every player has a goal in this game.
Oh. Showstopper still looking for his hat trick, but these Knights are trying to stop it and trying to just get back in it. At one point, they had tied it all up. I don't know if they can get back to it within a minute, but there is still time and life. Oh, another demo. Apple Pie and company are just taking it to them. Ninjas becoming barbarians. They're treating these Knights like white priests. Showstopper. Of course he's gonna get his hat trick.
With a 3rd hat trick for a 3rd different player in this series. Great little pass from Nifty to send it to the corner as it bounces up. Little tricky bounce that I don't think anybody from Knights was able to read. And Showstopper just right there with a slam dunk.
3-goal deficit. Odin should have been probably jumping earlier, but he's maybe gonna get it. No, Apple Pie with a stellar defensive move.
And you can't fault Odin for that. He had a great shot coming off the face-off that I don't think the Ninjas were quite prepared for, save for Apple Pie.
These plays are just formulating a little bit too late, as the Knights have been able to do so much more work now in their final series, in their final game of this weekend. 10 seconds remain though. 3-goal hole is a little bit hard to make up for. Oh, this one just went right off of crossbar. The Knights and company will be facing an 0-2 from this weekend and 2-2 on the season. Perhaps we'll be getting some kind of consolatory goal, but no. The Ninjas will give us our 3rd sweep of the day. They go 3-0 over the Knights.
And so that's got to feel terrible for the Knights, because you're right in the fact that we've had 3 series so far this week, each 3 ending up in a 3-0 sweep. 2 of those attributed to the Knights, and so it's a little bit concerning to see that coming from last week's performance when they had 2 reverse sweeps and were able to come back from being down 0-2 in a series to win outright. And so maybe a little bit of their luck has finally run out this week.
Definitely.
But so far they were tasked with rolling performance check with disadvantage, and they rolled critical fail both times. And so,
perfect.
You gotta feel for them.
These Ninjas were critting the whole way with the natural 20s every step of the way, and it's going to be back to the drawing board for these Knights. They're going to have to try and figure out what the best personnel concept is going to be. Maybe some trades are up in order for actual obtainmentship from the free agency to give themselves some practice if they're going to have issues going forward with who's going to be available during the season. And that's why we have you guys here, free agents galore. We will be showcasing you guys later tonight. And so definitely people to look at. And so Ninjas starting strong for the season, 3-0. 2 in their first week and 1 in this one, and set themselves up already to be kind of available in high placement for the playoffs. Top 6 of the 8 will be making it, so they're already halfway there.
Yeah, we're excited for seeing the interim league later on tonight, so that going into the game week 2 at the end of this. Maybe going into week 3, there's a little bit of movement on some teams, as you said earlier, just trying to find the best personnel and team dynamics that they can muster. And for some teams, that might mean dipping a little bit into the free agency pool from the interim league. And so this is the time for those players to really step up and show that they earn a spot here in this FLG league.
Very true. We're actually right on schedule for things, and we're going to be seeing our game number 4, which will be between the Tsunami and the Avalanche. Before you're trading out with our main man, Phoenix, who do you think has advantage going into this one?
Between the 2 teams, I was very impressed with Avalanche. Now, Tsunami is no pushover. J-Rod's a great player, great captain for that team that we've seen a lot of great things from. And Mr. P will be playing his first game of this season. He sat last week, but Mr. P has a lot of great team play stratagem and skills that he brings to the table. And so off the bat, I would believe that Avalanche really has the upper hand going into this game, especially off the fantastic aerial skills from Jordan. But it's anybody's game, and like I've said earlier, any team I put support behind typically doesn't do too well. So,
well, hey, I think it's going to be fun. Joe Young showed out last week whenever he played against the Nova, scoring an immense amount of goals, and it was always the first goal scored of each game, and they swept the Nova. So, definitely gonna get to see if this combination between him, J-Rod, and Mr. P, it's the latter end of their roster, a few of the later picks, is gonna be able to stand up against this team. We're having some late personnel changes, and so we'll be able to reflect that as we go into this timer. But this is the FLGC Summer Draft Series, and I am so glad to have you guys here on this fantastically rainy Sunday. But hey, we're indoors, we're playing Rocket League, and we're good to go. So please join us here.
Send some of that rain my way, because I'm in Texas and it's about 110 right now.
Oh, it's been drizzling up here in West Virginia. But hey, I guess the mountains are higher in elevation and climate change and, math, all that. We'll be seeing you guys very soon.
Country Road, take us to Game 4.
Oh, yes. See you soon. Welcome back to the Frontline Gaming Community's Summer Draft Series week number 2. I am Hail Monkey Man, and I'm here to bring you some amazing Rocket League gameplay, and I'm glad that you are able to join us on this fantastic Sunday. We've already seen 3 of our games this week, and guess what? 3 of them have been sweeps. So I guess the brooms are out, people are doing work, and the chores are getting done. And we're back once again with our great Chronoli buddy Phoenix. Phoenix, what are you thinking about these games?
I think that there's too much dust in this frontline gaming community, and I think we just need to sweep some more. I think some more sweeps, maybe clean up around the edges. I think that's exactly what we need.
Do you think that this game will ruin our sweep fest? Do you think the Tsunami and the Avalanche may actually break the mold? Or are we just in for another one?
I hope for everyone's sake, not just my own, that there's no sweep. That we at least go to game 4. We've yet to see a game 4 today. Is that true? Is that a true statement?
Yeah, every single game. The closest we have gotten so far has been the Bandits and the Nova, where the Nova were trying to survive out in Starbase arcs, way out in space, and they took us to a 4-minute plus overtime. So that was the closest we got. Now, granted, if you take the pattern of commonality between all the 3 of these games, 2 of them had the Knights. And of course, in their situation, it wasn't the greatest. And so maybe that's why we're facing this current slew of sweeps. But right now, our game is going to be between the Tsunami and the Avalanche. The Tsunami and the Avalanche are no slouches. They have Avalanche is going to be sporting yet again. They're going to have Jordan and False Cube, but subbing in is going to be Pax. And the Tsunami are bringing back Joe Young, who was going off like a madman in his sweep of the Nova last week. But they're going to be sporting J-Rod and then Mr. P's first game. And so, Who do you think has the advantage going to this one?
Oh, last time when we had the Tsunami, I put all my chips on J-Rod because he's a big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of his. And it just didn't hold up. So I think maybe the Avalanche is going to have the upper hand this time. But like Rain said, I don't want to give him a caster curse. So
I mean, definitely being a caster, one of the biggest things that we could do is just lay our negative juju and mojo on anyone, even if we're trying to be helpful and good for them. It just doesn't help at all. And apparently I've been misspelling Joe Young's name this entire time. Actually, not misspelling, but he demands capitalization or else the numbers doesn't work. So I apologize, Joe. There you go. I now know. I just have never seen your name capitalized because it's not capitalized in Twitch chat, so, deal with it. But anyway, I love you. So yeah, I think there's a lot of different stuff that we can see out of this. Jordan is definitely going to be, I think that Jordan Pax False Cube combo on the Avalanche is going to be tough for the Tsunami to overcome. J-Rod and Mr. P with Joe Young, good combination. It just may not be as lethal.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. We might get another sweep here. This might be the quickest week of FLG yet.
I mean, we're still sticking to the schedule pretty well. And I believe everyone is in so far. We have Joe Young, we got J-Rod, we got Pax, we got Mr. P, False Cube. We're actually just waiting on Jordan. So we need to make sure that Jordan makes it down into the deep blue sea all the way. This is kind of like a drastic difference. You have the Tsunami, the giant wave, and the Avalanche, which is just like falling snow. Both are water, but in different states of like equilibrium and like matter.
Yeah, we need a gas team.
A gas team.
The gas team.
Isn't that Nova?
No, there's no gas in space. Well, there's gas in space, but
yeah,
it's
but what are you talking about? Yeah, there's stars. It's burning gas.
Yeah, well, but it's like empty. It doesn't mean that they're gas, and it's not all water.
It straight up, I think science has proven it's gas.
I think you're gas.
You know what? Someone Google it. Tell me that space isn't gas.
Someone tell me there isn't gas in space.
It's all burning gas. That's what a star is.
I'm just saying, if I fart in space, is it adding a new element? Are all the astronauts' farts in space still there?
Yeah. Oh, fusion energy, which consists of different heat sources that are gas, right? Rainstorms is our local teacher over here, and he's given us a science rundown right now. And so
Jill says science nerd.
Oh man. Alright, so we're still waiting on Jordan. We're trying to see if she's going to be making it in. Our game day
Thank you,
admin,
Pax.
Chill's End, will be telling us one way or the other.
Pax says there's gas in space, but only in stars, not open space, and that's what I meant.
Ah, ah.
But if there was a gas team, what would you call it?
Methane.
Meth heads. Good idea.
No, methane. No,
Oh,
no. We do not support. No, we do not support that. Even though I'm in West
never said
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in normal Virginia. I'm a step ahead of you.
Man, there's a lot of people up in this upper northeast. I gotta tell you that much.
Yeah, we're east side. That's what it is.
Represent over here in the Virginians, be you
The
West or regular.
Yes, we are the V's.
I still have no idea anything about Virginia or West Virginia history. I've been told you guys are important or something.
I mean, yeah, that's where the colonies first colonized, and then we grew tobacco. Basically, most presidents come from Virginia, so we're just like the coolest state around.
I mean, I assume. I mean, I suppose. Like, I mean,
If you like old stuff, I guess.
old stuff is cool.
Yeah,
that's true.
Then we're the coolest state.
All right, we're still waiting on Jordan. We are going to be giving Jordan a 5-minute mark right now, starting at 4:55 at the latest, as this was slotted for 4:45. So that gives him 10 minutes to be able to make it in. I don't know the exact situation for him, and so gotta.
Can you asleep?
He may be asleep. Maybe his power went out. At this current juncture, they're allowed to give him enough time to join. Oh, and looks like we have the people that we needed in the first place. And so, all of our personnel have finally made it in. We got Joe Young, Jordan, J-Rod. Lots of J's today. Pax Plays, Mr. P, and everyone, and the False Cube. So we are good to go. We are good to start, and it didn't delay us really any time at all. So, game number 1 between the Avalanche and the Tsunami begins underwater.
Dun dun dun.
Joe Young over to Mr. P, and Mr. P immediately applying pressure. The False Cube staying on his wheels, staying very defensive to start. They are going to be looking for both strikers, hardcore strikers from either team to be doing the work. Joe Young, I think, is going to be the counter to Jordan, or at least he's going to be the equal but opposite. Perhaps not completely equal, as False Cube will put into the lower 90.
You just look at this. Who is this? It was False Cube just snuck it right past Joe, and the P was going a little too fast.
Mr. P was trying to make a save in reverse while going forwards. Physics is tough. It really is. And then, of course, that was sent to the bottom left side of the net. Couldn't really do much about it. Oh, and J-Rod, I think that's your boy, right? That's your other boy that isn't Sosa? Well, he was almost able to get one from underneath the crossbar. Jordan now flying high. This one's dropping low, and False Cube actually puts it a little bit too wide. Mr. P getting the save, doing a little bit of extra work, may not have been necessary. Ooh, having a little bit of a cluster of cars going on as we're fighting beneath the reef.
Does P have the first flag we've seen?
I know we have seen one other flag. Plamato repped a Reddit flag, so you know. Yeah, it's a lot of these guys are too cool to use accessories. So
yeah.
Some say it distracts them. It does distract me sometimes. J-Rod setting this one upfield.
Doesn't distract J-Rod.
It does not. Pax Plays, meeting Mr. P in the open field. Mr. P always rocks the pink visor, though. He's one of the boys, one of the bros.
Yeah, he's a fraternity brother.
Yeah. Yep. Sigma Pi for life. I have no idea what his thing is.
I don't know what that means.
me neither. J-Rod is going to be coming up on this from the corner. He's going to try and get a nice clear. Does so, but Jordan is already streaking back to receiver from his end. Oh, he's going to be trying to tag it from the midfield. A good shot. Mr. P's there. It's going to go straight up. Going to come straight down. And Joe Young able to get past False Cube.
Great defense by the Tsunami team there.
Right
the
now,
Avalanche were really giving it some strength.
Right now, it looks like the Tsunami is a little bit off in terms of their rotation. Oh, they're all clustering into the net. But hey, I guess that's making for a good wall to defend against.
It looks like bad rotation, but it's just they're coming in waves. Tsunami's coming in waves.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Joe Young sending off to J-Rod. J-Rod immediately getting met by Pax. Unable to work it past. J-Rod again, though. Oh, he's keeping to this Avalanche side of the field, and it's just he's trying to continue the pressure. Wow, what was that?
What was that?
That was right off the ground. He just was doing. He popped a wheelie and was just dribbling like that.
He hit a wheelie and just dribbled it down the field. I've never seen that before.
That was cool. I like it.
If he could do that consistently, I think he'd be in a lot of highlight reels.
Oh, but here's a highlight for Jordan.
Look at this. Jordan just, look at it. Pax just goes up, taps it over to Jordan. Jordan jumps up backwards and scores it right past the P.
Oh man, Mr. P was in position, but that slight angle around and that wonderful backwards touch gives Jordan everything he needs. Joe Young, try and pop it high. He's yet to score, and he is used to scoring, at least from his first series win against the Nova last week. Pax plays, unable to get the angle as he drops it into the corner. Cube, kind of a haphazard pass over to Jordan as well. And Joe Young now left to defend against Cube, stalemating that strike. As J-Rod now just kind of flops and then gets met on the ground by the J-Man. Lots of J's in this game. I wasn't
Lots of
prepared for
J's.
this. Lots of J's.
Jordan, J-Rod, Joe.
It's a lot.
Yeah, 3 J's.
Half a field of J's, but and they're 2-0 up as we only have a minute and a half remaining. This has been a much quicker first game, and Joe Young, one of our J's, is finally taking a score.
And Joe heard you say that he's used to scoring, and he just sinks one in to show you that he still got it.
I've been wondering where he was because he did a lot of scoring last week, and I was beginning to wonder if someone else had taken his controller for the worse. Only down by
there's
one.
More Russian spies taking over Rocket League players?
Maybe. Thus far, the Avalanche have been able to kind of control the field, take what they want in terms of offense. Tsunami have breathed life into this giant wave. There's a crowd cheering that they believe in the P, and that if anything, people are going to get peed on. Not sure if they're going to get peed from the P, but Mr. P is trying to work against Pax plays. A couple of P's with all these J's.
They got 2 P's, PP. Yeah, P and Pax plays.
Oh, this one's a good center. Oh, and Mr. P, they believe in you.
And the P just soaks that ball right into the back of the net. You know, that's all I expect from Tsunami. Is just some nice wet plays from P.
The P! The P equalizes this as the mountain and the wave crash in the open field. J-Rod with a nice long touch, but Jordan with a good save off of the crossbar. Joe Young gonna have to feed it off to Mr. P. Mr. P's gonna have to work this past Pax plays, but Pax plays sends it far. Oh, a good extra touch by Jordan! What a pass!
Jordan just straight from a save into the pass from the cube, and then Jordan scores it again upside down right into the back of Tsunami's net with 39 seconds left in the match.
My goodness, just when you think that there's a chance, Jordan comes out. He can turn trash into garbage. I'm not saying that pass wasn't good, but that was from the way outside lane, and he just went super far over and just redirected back and made it turn into a goal. Turn into gold.
I think they're polluting the Tsunami. They're polluting the waters.
They're putting all of those six-pack like plastic rings in it. Oh, and trying to play against Jordan.
Oh
Cube
my
now
God.
taking a turn of his own.
Jordan with a great little dribble here, putting it right past J-Rod and flicks it up right for the false cube to bounce it right past the other J.
That was just the tip of the foot, tip of the tire for Cube's kick. 16 seconds left.
The J's they couldn't do it. The J power just wasn't enough.
So much J power, not enough time. Oh, wasn't able to get there from off the kickoff. Would have had to predict that shot to be able to make up for it. Pax getting the clear downfield. This will not be going true. J-Rod and Chase, they are 2 goals up, which means this one's pretty much done. As soon as it hits the ground. Avalanche will take game number 1 over
That was
Tsunami.
a lot more back and forth. I think we have we're not going to get a sweep this time. I think this is going to be a good series, a good back and forth.
Now, you say that, but there was a ton of pressure coming from Jordan and company. And Jordan apparently has experienced a little bit of packet loss, so I'm sure Tsunami wants to be able to take advantage of that. But what can Tsunami do to shut down Jordan?
You were talking earlier about demos having a demo limit, which I think is a horrible idea because demos are part of the game. And if you want to take someone out, say Jordan, a demo is a good way to cancel the rotation. But Jordan can get from defense to offense in the matter of 5 seconds. We saw him make that one goal near the end of the match. So unless Tsunami finds a way to shut down Jordan, they're gonna have a hard chance coming back.
It's very true. I mean, even when taken out of the play, it's as if he was never gone because he is just so fast and he can score from anywhere on the opposite side of the pitch. It just the pass just has to kind of make the distance and he'll follow up as fast as he needs to. And Cube, no slouch, able to get 2 goals of his own and to enable a few passes to make that happen. So I think a good combo from captain and first round pick are enabling this Avalanche to do really well. Plus, this is one of their higher tier rosters coming out of the Avalanche, facing one of the, I'm not going to say terrible, but like lesser rosters coming out of the Tsunami. Definitely not their main starters.
Tsunamis are no slackers themselves. They had equal, if not more, shots than Avalanche did that last game. It's just the defense from Tsunami and just finding the accuracy Tsunami needs to get it past Avalanche. That's all they need. It's just make the goals in the basket and score and have more points than the other team and win.
Well, the Tsunami is going to have to figure out how to turn all this water into gold. Maybe make a golden shower out of it to just bless themselves with some treasure. Not sure if they're going to be able to, Oh, double demo. Jordan and Pax take out both Joe and J-Rod. Oh, my goodness.
The Jays are down for the count, and that's what I'm talking about. The demos, they're coming out strong here.
Mr. P. There's only one man left for a minute, but thankfully it didn't turn out worse for them. Oh, a nice dribble by Pax. Pax is a ones player and almost was able to get it the whole way down. Pax plays, playing defense, trying to play it off to the side. He's going to hand it off over to False Cube. No. Oh, False Cube and Jordan, a little bit of miscue together, is going to leave. Oh, it's just a momentary lapse, and all of a sudden, what seemed like defense gone wrong is offense gone right.
Right when Jordan gets control of this ball, he just knows he's going to score it. I mean, the Tsunami were nowhere near Jordan to stop this.
Oh my goodness. He was so deep in his own corner and then just flicked it up the wall and was able to get the whole length of the field. There's nowhere safe to hide from this Jordan. Like,
Tsunami need this golden shower, and they need Mr. P to come and bring it out.
Mr. P. Oh, he's trying to bring on the P, but it's not working out just yet. J-Rod is going to try and set it up from the corner, but a 2-man commit on defense, and Jordan is already ready to strike yet again. Pax plays, bring it back center. Mr. P trying to just work the Tsunami out of this hole they are stuck in. Oh, another shot from Jordan to send it right off the post. Cube up to the middle. Joe Young. Oh, not enough pressure again.
Oh, it looks like Jordan left the match.
We have to continue play, even if it is 2v3. Jordan will have to come back if possible, but right now it's going to be Cube and Pax versus Joe Young and company.
We'll see if Tsunami can make the most of this 3v2 and come back a game.
He is able to come back and have it still be in regulation. At this point, if he does not come back by the next game, then the Avalanche will have to find a sub. Right now is all Mr. P. J-Rod sitting back out middle. Oh, but J-Rod getting deleted by False Cube. That's what they're going to have to do if they're going to fight this 3v2. Joe Young off of Pax plays, back to the corner. They're playing all defense all the time, and that is exactly what they need to do if they're going to survive this. Oh, and barely missing is Mr. P from J-Rod.
And if Pax and the False Cube are able to stop their attacks, then all they need is to drain 2 minutes and 20 seconds, but that's very difficult for just 2 players against 3.
Joe Young barely missed that one. This is going to come off backboard. Pax plays, unable to defend it from the backboard. And now we're tied up at 1.
Just comes in, he says, you got one last person, and we're going to take full advantage of it. And hits it with the back of his car. I think it's a little bit of style points just to put the hurt on him.
Some of our viewers may be wondering, why can't this not count? But because we're in purely online play and this is not a LAN, there is no pause. I don't have modifiers to do that. And so part of our rule set is that if a player gets disconnected, then the play will continue in that game for them to either reconnect or for the next game there to be a replacement from their roster. Right now, they will have to continue as a 2v3 until Jordan returns. Joe Young.
Which is obviously quite difficult, but they're staying in it. They're not down by 1,000 goals yet.
Cube trying to bring it out from the corner. Now they realize that they are going to have to score. They're going to have to make something out of this. Pax plays. If there's ever a combo that could 2v3, it is Pax and Cube.
Pax just puts it over the entire Tsunami's team. Right past Mr. P, right past the Jays, and scores it all by himself.
Pax play is a ones player, and he is proving it right then and there. How mentally draining would this be? Just how tilting would it be if you cannot beat a 3v2 right now?
I mean, I've been in competitive matches like this. Pax says he's a ones player, Monk. He just wants you to be aware of that.
Oh, I know. That's why I say it.
But yeah, I have been able to, well, not me personally, but me and my team have come back from losing a player. So it doesn't mean you're out of the game completely. It just means that it's a little harder for you.
Mr. P trying to get a strike. He's going to center it up. Joe Young leaving it back off the backboard. A three-man commit from the Tsunami, and they cannot make it work.
Tsunami just not able to use any other players to put it in there.
Oh, it's going back center again, but Pax and Cube are on point like peanut butter and jelly. They are meshed well together, and they are delicious. Cube, no! Right when Cube was about to clear, Joe Young with the slam.
Joe Young understands that they're down one, and they can't let this happen. The embarrassment would be too much for him, and just pushes it right past with the help of J-Rod.
J-Rod and company are going to try and save some pride. Cube and Pax with a calculated fake, or at least no-go, so that they can use possession to their advantage. He's going to go to Pax. Pax is no clear. He's going to leave it off to his captain Cube. Oh, the dunk coming from J-Rod.
Oh.
No, it's not there. A third man, and it finally goes in.
The whole team by Tsunami. It takes all three of them just to score it on Pax. And the false key.
Joe Young putting it in. And that's the numbers advantage. Kudos to Pax and Cube to being able to do what they can, 2 versus 3, but they were at a disadvantage this entire time.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And this one will go down. Tsunami evens us up 1 apiece.
And there we go. No reverse sweep. That we did it. The first game that's, or not reverse sweep, sorry, the first game that's not a sweep. All it took was for Jordan to leave and there'd be 2 players on one side.
A decision has to be made now by the Avalanche. We will be pausing this game, or at least not starting this next game, until they have given us a player. If the next player is going to be Cryptide, he has to join now. So we'll be waiting on his arrival until we start the next game. And of course, you know, we would have had, I think this would have been Sweep Sunday. And it took one player being gotten rid of from a game and a near 2v3 loss to make it happen.
You think that if Jordan stayed in the game, they would have swept? They would have won this one easy?
I don't think easy, but I think honestly Jordan does give them the advantage. You have to admit he kind of is a good linchpin in that system over there.
He is quite bringing teams together pretty well. But obviously the False Cube and Pax Blaze can manage on their own. They don't need Jordan. If it was a 2v2, I'd be scared to see what those two could do together.
Yeah, those two, they play together a lot, so they're used to that style of play. So for right now, we're going to be checking in on our personnel, and it looks like the replacement has joined. Cryptide will be subbing in for Jordan. Jordan is no longer allowed to come back now that Cryptide has subbed in. Cryptide is now the third man on this team.
We'll see what they can do to really odd kickoff.
I believe that Mr. P and everyone else thought that there was not a true connection from this Tsunami side, and so they allowed Pax to come in completely. and that's gonna kind of come back to bite them.
Yeah, that you got to be heartless in these games.
Mr. P. Joe Young is going to be serving it up to J-Rod. J-Rod decided not to go. Ooh, and that one nearly bounced in. What do you think this does to the mindset of the Avalanche now that they're having to sub out Jordan and having to go with a separate man of Cryptide? They've played with him before, obviously, but there was a different plan in order.
I mean, depending on how well Cryptide does, I don't think they'll mind. If Cryptide can carry the role like Jordan did, I think they won't have any problems using him.
Cryptide taking it low. Oh, right over J-Rod. He's going to continue this dribble and give it off to the Cube. Cube's going to try and play from the corner, but Mr. P is there to play some good defense. J-Rod, once again out from the corner, actually takes it from in front of Joe Young. Cryptide serving this to a three-man wall.
Looks like the Tsunami is a little unbreakable. There's no wave break in this group.
No wave break. That's where is that? I don't know. Is that surfer lingo? Is that where they get to like actually get in on the wave?
Yeah, that's where the wave like folds over, like
That's
it
cool.
breaks.
I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Do you surf?
Virginia Beach. I
Oh.
live next to Virginia Beach. I don't surf.
Fantastic. Well, Joe
Joe
Young
Young.
he's
Joe
surfing
Young.
on this wave.
He's surfing on Tsunami and just puts it. Oh, look at that. Nice little touch by J-Rod. And Cryptide just can't get around it to pull it out.
Equalizing this current affair. Both sides tied at 1. One a little bit different than the other. But hey, it all goes in the same way. And J-Rod just gets enough pressure to make this work.
Tsunami is on the Riptide right now. They cannot be stopped. A beautiful double defense by Avalanche, but it just wasn't enough.
It's that moment where they actually squeeze too hard that it like lets everything just come out, and J-Rod was the benefactor of it. Oh, J-Rod again applying pressure from kickoff. I think that kickoff combo works really well. J-Rod knows how to take it from center mass in the field and just, you know, get people on their heels, really.
Yeah,
Oh, Mr. P. Q trying to launch out with this, get around Mr. P, but Mr. P says no. Go back to Cryptide. Cryptide is fresh and cold, possibly not warmed up at all. Don't know if he was playing beforehand. Oh, immediately getting pressured by J-Rod again, but we have some aerial advantage coming from the Cube. Pass was a little bit late, tried a little bit too hard. This went wide and no one there to receive it. Mr. P. No, now it's J-Rod who's going to send it slow in an arc to the far corner. A two-man commit from the Avalanche side. Next plays, waiting to dribble this. It's actually going to go back to Cryptide as well. Pax and Cryptide, a good two-man combo. They were able to take it to the casuals in Week 1 gameplay. So you got to think that there's some good experience between those two to make this work, even without Jordan being there.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going, but so far it looks like Tsunami is taking this new Avalanche team and just showing them what for.
J-Rod. Oh, that one getting denied as Cryptide had a shot going. And, oh, J-Rod with a good save himself. Oh, this one's near open net. J-Rod just trying to get in the way, and he does!
Great touch by Joe. Just off the wall, pass from J-Rod, and as he's flipping, puts it right over.
J-Rod got himself in a backwards flip, going forwards, got in the way of Cryptide, and Cryptide saved J-Rod from going in the net, but not the ball.
I think J-Rod was trying to steal that one, if I'm going to be honest.
So,
Oh!
Joe Young with a wonderful save.
Showing you that he doesn't just strike, he also saves.
Avalanche. Finally, all the snow is settling. They're a little bit wet down here. They had been banking, I believe, on Jordan's premium offense. But we're actually lacking 2 of our first-round picks in this game. As both Clavin and Jordan are not around.
Oh yeah, those are both very good players.
J-Rod trying to take it from the corner again. A lot more offense is going to be necessary for this Avalanche to do something. They're going to have to gel in quick.
You know what happens when an Avalanche warms up?
Does it become water?
becomes a tsunami.
Oh! Cube getting rid of J-Rod, and now they're finally trying to apply some pressure. Cryptide with a shot. Oh man, having the differential now.
That was quite a bad pass by the P. The P trying to clear it and just hands it right to Cryptide.
That's one of those that you don't want to put in front of the net, especially with everyone just flying around on offense on the Avalanche. Less than a minute left. The Avalanche trying to shake off the excess snow and just reaffirm their dominance that they used to have. And they're getting a little bit of help from this tsunami. Cube with the shot, and it still rolls in!
False Cube just taking this pass from Cryptide and putting it right over Joe Young. Joe Young had no idea how to stop that, just was not fast enough.
My goodness, we are equalized right up at 3. Just when you think the Avalanche are not going to be able to recover, and all of a sudden they start just rolling downhill in a hurry. J-Rod, no, Joe Young, he's going to dribble this, but Cube bullies it right out of his possession. Cryptide goes a little bit too high. Trying to go back to net. 30 seconds left. We'll be seeing overtime. Is regulation going to be the decider on this one?
Might be.
The Tsunami are not being given a gift of a 2v3. They actually have to work for it this time. Joe Young trying to redirect. Can't grab it before it's booped by Cryptide. Cube, captain of the Avalanche, and he will burden himself with responsibility of winning this one.
And just the placement from off the wall and just the corner of his car as he's flipping. And the P had nothing to defend it with. He had no jump, nothing. It was too perfect.
That was a wonderful shot, very wide, furthest point from the defense. J-Rod unable to grab it. Joe Young trying to serve it up to Mr. P. Mr. P, no, Joe Young taking himself. This is gonna strike ground, and Avalanche goes in with match point advantage into game number 4.
These Avalanche are, they're Nords. They're not afraid of this cold. You know, they can do what they need to do. And apparently, the losing Jordan didn't slow him down at all. Cryptide on top of the board with 385 points, 3 shots.
My goodness, a very good trade-off, just showing the depth and strength of this Avalanche team. They are no slouches. I don't know how the Tsunami is going to make up for this. Their only win thus far was, I mean, on a 2v3. And that doesn't really show too much good stuff on your end and your depth. And so, what are they going to do? They can't shut down Jordan. It looks like they're not going to be able to shut down Cryptide. It was very even, and they had to come back to win it. So, where do you go? What do you do to try and make it work?
I think maybe not lose a 3-1 lead would probably be my first step.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Yeah, I think both teams are pretty evenly matched. It's just whoever has the better day.
The server has gone down for maintenance. Fantastic. We will be restarting the server. I love it.
Jordan is now DDoSing the entire league because he can't play anymore.
It's so
I'm joking.
good.
Jordan did not do that.
Oh, man. All right, so now we're going to have our Game Day admin restart the server for us. Everyone has to leave, come back. This has been one of the more detrimental connection and technical games that we've had today. Ugh.
Yeah, I almost joined a competitive match online trying to rejoin. But, I don't know. Maybe it's Chill's fault. Can we blame Chill?
I wouldn't blame Chill the entire time. Like, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. At least one of the things are probably Chill's fault.
All right, so we've had a few good series today. I say good. We've had a lot of sweeps today, but this one is turning out to be a little bit more dramatic. Who in current standings, who do you think actually stands up and deserves their record and is actually good for it? We have the Ninjas at 3-0. We've got the Knights now 2-2. The Bandits are 1-2, a good recovery. Nova at 0-2. Who really stands out for you?
Well, obviously the Ninjas are unbeaten. That's just extremely impressive because, I mean, there's lots of good teams, and everyone on the teams are pretty good. So it's really just the luck of the day or whatever lineup. Maybe if someone has their first string against the third string, I mean, obviously you're not going to play very well. But the Ninjas seem to have everybody on their team who's playing able to come to the challenge, come to the table.
It definitely looks like Apple Pie and everyone else. That it's a really good makeup. And I mean, some may say that they had luck of the draw facing a less than stellar Knights team, but they showed out in their first week, so it's not exactly like they're slouches. We're slowly joining back into the server, so we're getting people here as they come in. We have a few more yet to join, and I believe we have everyone here finally. When everyone is set and ready to go, we will have them join up, and we will go right back into gameplay. This is game number 4. The Avalanche are looking to take their second win of the day and possibly go up 3-0 and meet the Ninjas in high standings placement.
Do you think we're going to get a Game 5 today?
I don't know. This one has the makings of it. Our next series after this one has it too. But let's see if the Tsunami can actually stand up against this Avalanche. It's like two great grand forces of nature fighting one another left and right. Oh,
If an avalanche was to fall into a tsunami, would it freeze or would it melt the snow?
I think it would break the wave.
Think it'd break the wave?
I think it would break the wave.
Well, let's see.
Cryptide going high. He's going to try and drop it low. Oh, and False Cube gotten rid of by J-Rod so that he couldn't get up and rise up for another strike. Pax is going to hit an open back lane. J-Rod with a good save from the post. Cube trying to keep the play alive. He draws out 2 defenders, but no counterattacks as both Pax Plays and Cryptide go for the same boost corner. SP, Pax Plays, kind of hugging it out on the side. Oh, Joe Young! Oh, Joe Young!
Quite an odd clear from Avalanche there.
Yeah,
Trying just to get it away from their net.
They clumped up in that corner as best as they could. It's their best totem pole impersonation. Pax stealing boost out from the Tsunami. Oh, and nearly getting a dunk! But a good save. I don't know who actually got that save, but that was good.
I think Cryptide saved himself.
Do you think so?
I think he hit the bar twice.
Oh, it was very, very close. But Cryptide going for another launching shot. And Joe Young thought this was going to hit the backboard, and it did not.
Cryptide was kind of upset with himself that he didn't make that double touch. So he went back, regrouped, and came back and hit one all the way into the top bar.
I need to apologize to Joe Young. He was well out of position. He was not thinking anything like that. I'm pretty sure he resigned himself to that shot being in. But now he's on the offense, trying to service it up, but he gets nifty-50'd.
Pax Plays doing some interesting defense in the midfield there.
Oh, J-Rod, just a little bit too much on that. Too much pepper on the steak as he tried to pass it to Mr. P. It's a very good pass and play in the making. Cryptide to the ceiling and False Cube, quick to follow up. Try and get an extra touch. Does so. What a high hopper. Joe Young. Oh, to Mr. P. Another extra doink. Keeps it going downfield.
Teammates running over each other here on the Avalanche side.
I think they have enough time to be able to make it out of the snow. They've got their snowshoes on. Oh, both Cube and Pax up for that one. Cryptide's going to have to roll back on defense as that just clears the net.
I think if the Tsunami team can get their head back on their shoulders, they might be able to win this.
They have, I mean, for some reason, these Avalanche seem to be a little bit out of sorts, but they're still winning. Oh, and a 3-man commit gets nothing.
And a beautiful, look, Joe pops it up and the Cube just knows what to do with it. Just hangs it high and all of the Tsunami team comes in a wave and just can't clear the ball out.
The wave comes crashing down and just it doesn't do anything, doesn't catch that beach ball, and it's a slow loft.
They must be feeling a wave of emotions right now.
Oh, definitely. They're pretty wet with them, with tears. J-Rod send this one back downfield. Joe Young is left by himself as Pax is going to try and dribble it. Good shot, but good save from Joe. J-Rod.
You know what I would say to the Tsunami at this point? Life's a beach.
Woo! Life can be a beach. Pax Plays. I mean, I think the only ones on the beach right now are the Avalanche, and theirs is a snowy one. Mr. P trying to get some kind of pressure. He's going to flick it out, but no one to follow up. J-Rod. Nope, it's going to be Cryptide. Cryptide trying to apply some pressure, can't grab it. Cube yet again. He's going to carry it, get it past Joe. Pax Plays. It's there a little bit too early. Both Pax and Cube combining for a shot. What a wonderful team shot.
They megamorphed like Power Rangers and just put it in.
Lovely. 3-0 in this game number 4. Avalanche is sitting rather pretty. A little over a minute and a half remaining. And this Avalanche seems unstoppable. No matter who they throw out there, no matter who is there. Nearly getting the double dunk. Pax plays. You're a ones player who misses a lot. Cryptide send this one back downfield. J-Rod is going to have to work his butt off to make something of it. And Joe cannot get the score. Cryptide playing it slow. They don't have to do much more than just play out the clock. A little over a minute now. Mr. P over to J-Rod. J-Rod can't bring it true to the center. And actually, Mr. P sends it backwards. We have 1 minute left. Cube. Oh, trying to center it up there. There is no mercy for this Avalanche. But Joe Young is trying to sing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's trying to save the dang ball.
It's not looking good for the Tsunami team here.
It's not. They've had one series to their name. They only have one series this weekend. If this continues as it is, they will be 1-1, an even 500 team, kind of equal to our Knights, who are 2-2. So, not an awful way to start the season, but they're gonna have some work to do as they realize this personnel change did nothing to hurt them, and their only real win was against a two-man team.
Yeah, and you know how quick standings change. I mean, Knights went from 2-0 to 2-2.
Pax plays. Ooh, quickly playing off of Mr. P. Yeah, I think Cube and company are very happy with themselves. And this is going to strike pay dirt. The Avalanche take it 3-1 in game number 4. Congratulations to them on their second win of the day.
Yeah, they're great job by everyone so far. I mean, they tried their best, the Tsunami. They had the heart of the ocean. They had Moana, but they just couldn't make it. Couldn't do it. Elsa just froze them up.
9 shots from this Avalanche team and only 3 from Tsunami, and all of it being from Joe Young. I don't know if they're just trying to get play time in for the latter part of their roster, or if there was a scheduling issue or what have you, but they're going to have to go back in and see what will be more beneficial to them, especially if they're playing higher tier competition. And so Avalanche definitely recovering from a loss of personnel, and Cryptide definitely doing it to him, doing work in the 2 games he got to play. So,
he was quite a good pickup for them at the end.
Fantastically so. All right, we are aiming for the final game of the day. This has been the Frontline Gaming Community's Summer Draft Series. We have game number 5 between the Mob and the Casuals. Both of these teams are winless. The Casuals faced a full Game 5 series and could not complete the reverse sweep last week, and then got stomped on by a rolling Avalanche. The Mob only got to play once last week and was decimated after taking Game 1 and lost the next 3 against the Ninjas. Who do you think has this one going into it?
Oh, I can't even say. I mean, these 2 teams play together quite often. I mean, Mars knows the entire Casuals team extremely well, so I'm actually really interested to watch this one and see how it goes.
Well, we are going to take a short break before we get into this, and we'll be seeing you very soon for this final match of Week 2 for the Summer Draft Series. welcome back to the Summer Draft Series. I am Hail Monkey Man, and I am so happy to see more competition going on because, I can't get enough of Rocket League, and I am so happy to be back with my buddy Rainstorms. Rainstorms, why the bow tie today?
I was just feeling a little fancy today, and I left the decision actually up to a few other people, just necktie or bow tie, and they emphatically went with bow tie, and so
it's a good choice,
I'm a
honestly.
people pleaser.
I can't pull off a bow tie. I don't have like enough solid like neck, and like my body looks oblong without the tie, and I have to balance myself out. But primo choice.
Why,
choice.
thank you.
I love it. All right, so talking about primo stuff, we have primo competition going on right here. We have the Casuals and the Mob. The Casuals, Heartbreak City last week. They were unable to fulfill their destiny and bring back the reverse sweep against the Knights, who ended up taking them all the way to Game 5. And then the Mob, they took that first game against the Ninjas, and we were there together to see it, but then it just was out the window. So what can both sides do this week to really kind of capitalize and maybe getting their first win?
Yeah, and what you said earlier about Mob just kind of crumbling under the pressure for Knights, that was something that we talked a lot about in that first game. It was really the season opener for us. Mob was very strong early on, especially with Mars at the helm and Goop. But you're right in that they crumbled. And so what I'd like to see from Mob going forward is a little bit more consistency in their team play. They need to stick with what works and then keep attacking on that. And if they need to adapt, if something on the Casuals is able to adapt and defend what Mob is doing, then maybe they can change up some of their strategy. But I think, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Definitely. And this last Wednesday, we were able to see the Knights trying out a few different people as they knew about their personnel struggles, but the Mob in general, this Goopy Mars dirty combination, aerials galore, putting on just a circus. And so I don't know if they're going to have the same kind of production going against the Casuals. The Casuals, they're mean, they're green, and they're ready to prove 0-2 is not right for them. And we saw just earlier one of our other 0-2 teams, the Bandits, really reel back, recover, and make anew their charge towards the playoffs on the season, to really get in the Nova's face and sweeping them completely. So can they do the same thing?
Yeah, and this is something that this game, I think, has the most balance between skill sets of each team. Lots and lots of really talented players scattered for both teams. You've got great players like Mars, Big Poppy, Esbar, and Mr. Manager, all supremely talented players. It will be interesting, however, to see Dirty subbing in for the Mobs. I have not seen his play yet, and so that'll be kind of a mystery factor for me going into this one.
Well, let the mystery be no more as we head down to Urban Central, where it is raining outside to match our weather outside, but hey, inside, we're still dry. It's Mr. Manager, Esper, and Big Poppy versus Dirty, Goopy, and Mars. Ooh, Esper starting off everything with a bang! Oh, and Mars unable to get that kicker right from the start. Mr. Manager, I know that he's been catching a little bit of heat for a few of his centers being off last week, and so I know he's been trying to work with both Big Poppy and Esper to kind of make for that. And a nice long clear from him, setting up this play for the Casuals. Oh, Esper being deleted from the field by Goopy. Big Poppy.
A lot of chippiness early on.
Big Poppy's rocking the Roachmobile. If none of you know what that means, it's kind of an inside thing. But I've seen him use it a few times. I've been told it has the same Octane hitbox, so I think it's a combination of a meme and scheme all at once. Good strategies. Mr. Manager popping it out to middle. Dirty's going for the shot, and a nice save by Esper. Ooh, going off the backboard. Big Poppy trying to get in the way, does. And now we have two men in net, and no one really committed to it as Dirty just goes flipping away. Mr. Manager with a nice catch on his hood. Casuals are everyone. Yeah, you're talking about the chippiness. This is starting strong. Both these teams know each other very, very well, and I guess they just want to be able to tilt and get in the heads of the other one. That may be the proving factor. And so, what the advantage? And Big Poppy capitalizing it with goal number 1.
Yeah, Big Poppy here in the Batman tumbler, just tumbling his way into this goal as he goes up and dunks it on all 3 defenders.
Woo! He did extra work. That's like Foursquare where you hit the Texas Giant Slam and gets it right off of Mars to end it all. Mars trying to fly up again to it, and Esper with a good pinch from the ground. Big Poppy will be playing against Dirty. Another pinch goes wild and wide. Goopy we've seen do a lot of fun aerials, and Esper, oh, just ends up missing it, going too low.
And Mob making sure that they don't fall too soon. Goop with his exceptional read off the wall to get it just out of reach of Esbar and the casuals.
Dirty and company. Goop has always been one of those guys that I see him like hit crazy things, and then I see him 50% hit crazy things. It's just, I don't know, it's just consistency is there, but I think he's more astute now in this little trio between him, Mars, and Dirty. So Goop putting the pressure upfield. Mars with a nice redirect doink, but Big Poppy reading it the whole way. Oh, and Mars helping him out. Big Poppy gets goal number 2.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, Poppy sending it along the wall here with this long shot, just trying to create something for his team. And Mars, not sure what he was trying to do there, just trying to clear it along, maybe sending it the long way, and he just sends it in his own net.
Hey, you know what? I mean, good passing play. That's what I can say about that. Dirty.
You know, if we didn't have bad luck, we'd have no luck at all, right?
Exactly. Oh, too real. Mars gonna try and take this from the sidewall. Oh, Big Poppy's gonna loft it up middle. Goopy's not on the attack yet as Mr. Manager's trying to bully him away. Effectively so. Dirty. Drumming this to Esper. Esper, we're gonna pass both Dirty and Mars. Goop left in net. Easy clear. Mr. Manager trying to send it up back to Poppy. A familiar situation. Big Poppy goes flying. Now Goop just trying to slow it down to give his team the opportunity to take a strike. Mars, a little bit upfield. Ooh, a little bit of fakes going on. Nice jab step, Mr. Manager. No, the no shot, but Big Poppy keeping it in play. A nice one, and it goes from crossbar. That should have been one of 2 separate goals.
It really should have, especially with that double commit from Mob.
Esper able to get away from Dirty. Dirty on the reeling backwards as Goopy's gonna fly after this one. Nice dunk down, Mr. Manager. Keeping it out to the corner. Big Poppy from Esper. Esper going up from it again. A nice high flying strike, but no. Big Poppy sees. Oh, the ball was bouncing slowly for just all of a moment. Gave him opportunity, but they are still up 1. Don't need to take any big risks for the moment.
And almost sent back in by Dirty, but as they clear it into the zone of the casuals, Mob just kind of sitting back watching this, maybe regrouping a little bit, but you got to wonder when that lack of aggressiveness is going to come back to bite them.
The casuals learned last week when they really need to be on the defense and when they just need to be full throttle trying to score. Oh, and this is an open net, and Dirty will get the dunk to equalize us at 2.
Slam dunk for the equalizer right here. Poppy just tries to go up. He saves it initially, but centers it right for Dirty as Esbar can't make it in time.
Esper was so close to that one too. He was, the 2 separate times has been scored above him. He was just off by inches. Game of inches is what this one will be. This is a good series, I predict. Oh, and Big Poppy getting his hat trick.
As he's tumbling away from that goal too. So right off this face-off, Poppy's in good position to read that off the wall and just sends it past right out of reach of Mars. Just can't seem to get it as Mars gets caught a little bit for going for boost off that face-off.
I mean, as captain of this team, Big Poppy has been doing some good work, no matter which series we've been looking at. And, I mean, whether it's been just good fortune or good positioning, he's helping his casuals out to take this lead. Big Poppy, oh, taking it all his own.
Yeah, you see right here, Dirty is going to come back from grabbing boost. He's the last man back. And watch how he sits there in goal. He doesn't attack Big Poppy's shot until it's too late.
You need to go out there. You need a challenge. That was a big mistake, just letting him have as much angle and room to work with as he needs. Big Poppy's very good at the side angles. If anyone has a golden gilded protractor, it is him. Fat Mobile, as it has been dubbed now, rolling backwards. Casuals trying to defensively rotate Goop. Oh, was going to pop it over to Mars from Dirty. This aerial display has not come to fruition. is not currently being played as the casuals have just applied too much pressure. Ooh, popping over, Mr. Manager is dirty, but then immediately gets put back into the corner. Oh, another nice shot. Big Poppy might as well make it 5.
Right there, sending it right past in the short side goal, getting it past Mars and Dirty, just gets that little unfortunate bounce off the corner, putting Mars in a bad spot.
Oof, Big Poppy coming out swinging. It's a mad bear after wintertime, pissed off and just wielding his claws. 5-2, down 3. The mob is gonna be trying. They're gonna have to rethink game plan going into the next part of this series. Mars aiming for the slow dribble. For the dirty. Big Poppy just wants it to go away. Oh, the casuals will be taking game number 1.
And this is something that we've seen from other teams, but something that I want the mob to really work on if they want to have a chance at coming back in this series is just working on their aggressiveness, both in the defensive zone and the offensive zone. A few times we saw players like Dirty sitting back in net, giving players like Big Poppy, who scored all 5 goals, plenty of time to make a move, and that really hurt them. And on the other side of that, in the offensive zone, they would get a nice clear after a lot of defensive pressure, and then nobody would follow that up to see any chances they could make. They would just kind of sit back and regroup, and we saw a lot of that, unfortunately for Mob, gave Big Poppy a lot of time to see what he could do.
I mean, you got to think it's odd to have a team like the Mob be so passive when obviously they benefit from being the attackers, the challengers, the people out there. I mean, if the series scrim that we just saw this last Wednesday was any indicator, they benefit from just going out there and trying. They need to go up there. They need to make their aerial combos, and they just need to put the casuals further back in their net, put them on their heels, and not give them any space to work with.
Especially Poppy.
Especially Poppy. Maybe the Fatmobile is the new meta. I'm not sure. Mars from Dirty, and Mars was not able to have enough boost for that angle. However, oh, Big Poppy with the save in reverse, getting it away from Goopy.
Making sure that he's both the offensive MVP and the defensive.
I don't think the casuals will mind if Big Poppy puts them on their back and carries them like the giant big bear he is.
This car's fat enough for it.
Esper, oh, he's gonna put it to the backboard, go a little bit high. Oh, Big Poppy nearly dunks it in, but Dirty with a good save of his own. I was gonna carry
putting
this.
it right there in that side where you gotta really squeeze that save out. Dirty comes up with a big one.
Esper's rolling in for boost. It's a little bit lack thereof. Big Poppy's just gonna take it all his own. Mr. Manager taking that pop from Poppy. Big Poppy can't quite doink it. It's a little bit of an awkward placement. Esper's gonna put it back center. No one there to really attack Mr. Manager. Couldn't wholesale commit on it because he would have put just Big Poppy all by himself. Not that Big Poppy can't work by himself, but you know.
Great little wall play from Big Poppy and great card control to make sure that he's controlling this ball in his own zone and puts it into position to get a nice clear.
Oh, Big Poppy missing that little downward flick he was going for, and Dirty now having to service out to Goopy. Goopy, this is a wonderful passing play. Oh, but the crossbar denies them, not in their favor, and now on the counterattack.
Yikes,
Oh,
bar south and cleared by Big Poppy.
Oh, Goopy pre-jumped that shot or that pass from Mars, and it just didn't play out. It was so close. The best defender for the casuals are both Big Poppy and the crossbar. It's working out for him.
You've got to beat both the defender and the metal around the goal if you want to score.
Oh, Big Poppy trying to drop it off to Manager and went a little wide. I'm surprised we're actually still zeros across the board when we're 3 minutes remaining in this current game number 2. Ooh, Goop going for the smash on Manager. Couldn't clear him out of net as Manager saw what was going to go down and got out in a hurry and got rid of the ball.
Yeah, if anyone from Psionics is one of our 23 viewers right now, what I'd love to see Rocket League add is maybe a nice ping sound anytime the ball hits the crossbar or the post, just to ring out and really solidify the almost goal that you scored.
That's gonna haunt some people's dreams at night if they have that. It's just ding 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 ding. It just there's some people that only hit that. In fact, that one of them is me. So I would never, I would just hear that as oh God, bad dreams. Cool idea, but more of like a meme. Mr. Manager, applying pressure down into the corner, will follow up on it. Getting it past Mars, it's gonna go over Goop. Oh, Esper cannot dunk it. Oh, that was so close. 2 minutes remain. We've knocked another minute off the clock. This one, how did this turn into an open net? Was it a demo? Not sure, but Dirty carrying it away as Big Poppy had no boost to follow up.
A little foot race there, unfortunately. Can't win it if you don't have any boost.
Ooh, a pinch strikes this high. Esper goes flying wide, and Goop is going to drop it over to Dirty. Big Poppy trying to just exist in the moment. Oh my goodness, Goopy! You got intimidated by that Fatmobile. Now Big Poppy.
Goop looks like he's almost wanting to clear it from the offensive zone. I'm not sure if he can just whip his car around on that, but not the best offensive chance.
Maybe he's just wants to keep this 0-0 arrangement going. Some people really enjoy tension. I don't know. This would give me an ulcer immediately. Oh, Mr. Manager with the barrel roll. He has no boost, and he's just going to fly by. Still at 0, as we are now under a minute. No doink on that one, and Esper's extra touch actually works against Mr. Manager. But Mr. Manager able to get a second effort. Dirty, trying to clear the net. Wasn't able to grab anyone blindly. I like doing that too. When you demo someone, you won't even look at them. Esper from Manager. No, that's Big Poppy. Dirty, no. Goopy, yes. Trying to drop it over to Dirty, but Esper again with the clear. This has been a fight of defense and luck. Lots of scores. Scores should have happened by now at this point, but neither team has been able to really lock it down. Oh, I said that, and Mars heard me talking.
Yeah, this is an incredible goal for Mars. He sends it up, reads it perfectly off this corner, pre-jumps way out in advance, and gets his car on the perfect angle to just send that such a fine angle. And unfortunately for the casuals, nobody back to defend it.
It was definitely an amazing adjustment to the ball, because he was narrow of it, like right on the inside of the lane, and then just ended up having to go way out left and got there. All the casuals under this ball now, they're going to have to juggle it at least half of the pitch and just trying to get it down. The Mob will take game number 2 and even us out 1-1.
Yeah, and Mob making sure that 4 of our 5 games don't end in sweeps. So no more brooms required for you as a caster. So, but yeah, I think the Mob did a lot better job as far as keeping up the pressure. It didn't really manifest a whole lot into a lot of goals, but on the flip side, they were able to stop the bleeding as they kept Poppy to just a couple saves and 3 shots that didn't manifest into any goals.
Yeah, they put the pedal to the metal. This honestly was very back and forth all throughout, and it was just one little misstep in reverse that allowed Mars a much larger lane to work with to finally get that extra netter. And Big Poppy thus far has been just we throw the word carry around a lot when it comes to this game, but this is a full-scale carry. The last time he had 5 goals all his own. For this one, he's applying as much pressure as he can. He's still working very well off of the enablement that comes from Esper and Mr. Manager, but I'm going to need them to step up more if the casuals are going to legitimize their efforts.
I agree, and keeping up with the same strategy, Mob definitely got to make sure that they're working together as a team to ensure that they get up in this.
Mars from the immediate kickoff. Big Poppy rolling back for boost. Oh, and actually doinks it past Mr. Manager. Makes up for it. Mr. Manager is going to let Esper take control of things. A little bit of a misstep to start game 3. It's not that bad. Esper, you know, is probably one of the more frustrated players on this team, as he's done a lot of good things, but nothing has really ended in his favor. Obviously, all goals so far have been for the casuals, or for the casuals from Big Poppy. And he's hit quite a few from crossbar and from post. So he's going to be trying to make up for that very, very soon and very, very quickly. Goop Oh, now with a long shot, not going to get a double touch. Big Poppy gets to clear. Mars, and I believe one other, trying to get a shot here. Oh, strange. Kind of like a backflip going forward. Wasn't able to readjust to the ball.
Yeah, sends it perfectly along the wall. Unfortunately, no teammates back there to get that assist from him.
Ooh, Esper was going for the boomer and immediately got sat on. Esper then getting punished for being unable to clap it by Dirty's demo. Big Poppy with a slow bounce. These casuals are just trying to seat these mob down. They don't want them to be able to do any aerials. They want them to stay on the ground, stay seated, be as non-lethal as possible. And Esper over to Manager, Manager over to Big Poppy, and that one gets shut down by Dirty. Esper keeps it in the field of play, and it's going long, and Esper finally gets on the board.
Yeah, right here, unfortunately, Dirty sends it along the wall. Perfect in place for Esper. And really the only defender who has a chance is Goop, but he just can't get that angle as he lets it sail past.
Oh, what a good display. That was a wonderful three-man passing play. And I say that, and Mars just takes it right off of kickoff in the least
Mars
special
taking
way possible.
Mars taking advantage of this. Goop gets up there really quickly and takes it away from that. Mars all the way up there, perfect position to redirect that as both defenders from Casuals were getting boost.
Yeah, it looks like there wasn't a good follow-up system ready, and like the strategy for that just went awry. Mars immediately applying pressure from the backboard. Big Poppy, oh, Dirty missing that one. Long clear from Big Poppy. Big Poppy just gets rid of Goop. No offense from him. Mr. Manager, this is going to come back middle, and Big Poppy recognizes that, tries to keep zone play away. Big Poppy with the strike, and it gets saved by Goop. Mars sending it long. Esper's going to try and carry it. He's going to bang it. Goop is going to try. No, see? This is the inconsistency I speak of. He's always there. Mechanically, he's around, but sometimes Goop just cannot finish the job.
Goop almost banging it into his own net on that pre-jump.
Poppy's going to follow up. Mr. Manager and Big Poppy actually speaking in the same zone. They're waiting for Esper to center it up. This is going to come from backboard. Mr. Manager finding the ground. Oh, this actually now past the back line. Casual's going to have to be rolling back. Goopy bullying Big Poppy out of the way. And Mr. Manager taking Dirty out of the play. Oh, a near fake. Oh, Big Poppy.
Big Poppy taken out of that play from Goop. He, if he kept going his route, he'd be demolished.
Yeah. Definitely was able to just angle himself just enough to be out of it. Esper. No, from Big Poppy. Big Poppy, this is going to creep in between two defenders.
Sends it right up to this top, out of position, and Goop and Dirty both with the double commit, and then Dirty and Mars also with the double commit, but neither seem to get to it, so maybe a little bit more communication between Dirty and his team.
Oof, just a razor's thin edge away of getting that clear, I think. And both of them were going for it, so it's not like one knew the other would, but I think Mars had hoped Dirty would get like at least a piece of it. The Casuals are coming back in this one. A little bit more sound and solid, a good balanced team. It's not all the Poppy show. I think Poppy's maybe had a few words with them to communicate that, like, hey, I need some help. Manager is going to drop this over to Esper. Esper's on the sky. Oh, but he couldn't dip down far enough to grab it. Hey, Poppy left by himself. But hey, that's never a bad thing. Mr. Manager almost got bullied and demoed by Mars, but existed long enough to get that clear. Mars with the flick down. Goop with the redirect, and it's just high. Mars trying to do something with this. Running out of gas, running out of momentum. Momentum is currently in the favor of these Casuals. 1 minute left. Esper to, oh, Mr. Manager. Mr. Manager, did you pre-jump it again?
So you've got Goop right along the wall here, trying to pass it to the center, maybe hoping for a long bomb, and then Dirty and Mars both going for it. Yet again, a double commit that's punished by Mr. Manager, sending it in the bottom 90.
Just able to, he was definitely going to go for the block, and that turned into a really, really nice strike. Mars trying to replicate what happened before and just score off of a score. Esper, oh man, he gets punished, but is able to get the save, and that's all they really needed. comes back into it, and with the long clear immediately from being spawned. Dirty with the good roll. Oh, this one's on. Goopy slowing it down. Mr. Manager trying to peel it up. Esper with the dunk!
Wow. This is initially a great shot from Mr. Manager that Goop manages to save, but keeps it in a position for Manager to lob up for Espar's magnificent slam dunk.
Oh. Big Poppy was there, and I think he was going to try and grab it from off of the post, but Mr. Manager was able to delay any defensive acts and efforts from the mob and just hand it off. What a wonderful, wonderful second goal. 20 seconds remaining. The Casuals are sitting pretty, just like game one. I don't know if we're going to have the constant flip-flop that we did before. Do you think the mob are going to be able to take it back to them again going into game number 4? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's tough to say. What I think that really the mob, they're doing better on what I was looking for earlier in the aggressiveness, especially in the offensive zone. But it's something that needs to be worked on now going into this do or die situation is communication, especially between this new teammate Dirty and Mars and Goop, just to make sure that they're not doing double commits or the rare triple commit that might put them in an unfavorable position.
Yeah, definitely. And they're, I don't know. Well, and for the record, Dirty's actually one of the mainstays along with Mars's grouping. So as much as he is a sub, they've played together a bunch. So it's interesting to see that their dynamic is just not working out how they played before. Of course, played a completely different team, which may have given them a false sense of security this last official scrim. So who knows? Right now, it's good to see better balance out of these Casuals. Esper and Mr. Manager definitely coming in. I think they heard us talking and they grouped around Big Poppy, did a little bit of a kind of a team huddle, and it's working now, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And you saw that in the gameplay of Goop, where in the offensive zone he was not necessarily going for the ball, but supersonic in a line straight for Big Poppy that forced Big Poppy to turn out and took him out of the save situation. Now, if they could do that maybe a little bit more on their defense while Poppy's on offense, maybe they can stop the bleeding and take the scoring chances away from the Casuals' top scorer.
Yep, it's gonna be tough because this is one of those where the tension, the nerves are rising high. This is match point for the Casuals. They could take it in game number 4, and you know they are just biting at the bit for it. And Mr. Manager is biting at the kickoff for a quick goal.
Once again, we've seen this on the other team with Mars, but with Mr. Manager, he takes advantage of this primo kickoff opportunity as both defenders from Mob are going back for boost and can't get back in time.
I believe that he was facing off against Goop, who likes to utilize the fast kickoff, which is a high risk, high reward kind of concept. If you miss, you lose all possession, but if you get it, you will have many, many yards of space in front of your opponent to be able to do exactly what Mr. Manager just did. Mr. Manager just kind of did a more traditional hit. Right now, the mob is trying to recover, putting themselves into an early hole. Big Poppy with a quick strike. Oh, from the backboard. This one's still laying in, and Esper's able to finish it off.
Yeah, tough break there from Dirty. He makes a good effort to get up and try to send it along, but he just misses it, and off the crossbar comes Big Poppy, hitting it once again to send it down for that little slam dunk touch from Espar.
Mr. Manager, or sorry, Big Poppy, he's enabling his team on both sides of the net. He's being their defense, he's being their shooter, he's being a passer, he's being a captain. That's what we expect of the Big Bear. Oh, and Goopy reading off of Esper's little low slider, able to make a nice defensive stand. Goop going for the strike again. That one gets stalled by Manager, and Big Poppy tossing it back to the Manager himself, who gives it back to Poppy, but this one gets stalled on the opposite side of the pitch.
Yeah, wonderful pass from Mr. Manager to Poppy right there in the left side, but unfortunately cut off from Casuals pretty well, or excuse me, from Mob pretty well there.
This Manager and Esper populating the net best they can. Just trying to get in the way of these Mob. This will be shutdown time for the Casuals. This Manager just kind of laying it out. They're going to start doing longer rotations. I I feel like with their game advantage, even with this amount of time left, there's gonna be more defense that's gonna get played. They're still gonna go for those shots, but they're just gonna be trying to play the net as best they can, especially with Big Poppy in rotation. Ooh, Big Poppy putting it back downfield, and he takes out the Goopster. Manager fitting
Just
around
unfortunately
dirty.
getting caught there.
Goopy trying to edge down on Esper, and Esper just pushing the ball back. Goopy and Mars there together, and we're seeing the mob just starting to get a little bit frantic. They can't get these passes to work. They're in each other's way. Poppy out to Dirty. Dirty with just absolutely zero touch. The last man grabbing it is Goop. He's gonna have to do something with it from the ground, and Esper, oh, it's a Big Poppy. Will this go in? No. A nice defensive stance from Mars, and again, and again, and again.
Mars with the first save, and then the second save. Unfortunately, he's called upon to make a third save, but he can't seem to get there. But good enough for him. That gave Goop just enough time to get back as they survived the casual onslaught, which doesn't sound that bad when you say it.
Just casually surviving. Mars out from the sidewall. It's going to go back to Esper. No, Esper's going to rotate back. All of the casuals rotating back. All from Goop. That's going to slow it down. Will it just drop in? Yes, it will.
So Dirty does a great little pass here. He waits a little bit just for the ball to get in the perfect position for him to bang it to the top part of that crossbar for Goop to come in and send it. And unfortunately for casuals, they let in a little bit of the beach ball.
Oh, they did. Mr. Manager's going to be kicking himself for that one. They've got to be tense. Oh, and here comes an aerial play, but Big Poppy breaking up the entire mess of it. Esper not getting enough of it, and Mr. Manager was already upfield. Oh, they expected an epic counterattack. It was three-man commit versus three-man commit. It's just crashing waves of cars, one after the other.
Yeah, fortunately for Mob, they didn't get punished for that triple commit.
Oh, it was a delayed
They had
punishment.
spoken too soon.
Caster's curse rings true again. Manager to Poppy. Poppy with the dribble, and then Poppy with that giant Fatmobile just gets in the way.
And maybe you're right. Maybe this is the new meta, the Tumbler.
It's a really cool looking car. I don't know how to use it.
The Roachmobile. Earlier.
Yeah, it's the Roach loves the wall. It's a stupid inside joke. I don't. Yeah. God.
Well, what's an inside joke between you and 24 viewers?
Hey, true. This is a very, very intimate family. It's true. Big Poppy. No, Mr. Manager is going to try and get past Mars, get on his back and ride him. But he cannot do so. Esper over to Big Poppy again. 2 goals up. The Mob have some work to do. They can still make it happen. Oh, dropping it to who? To the goal. Goopy with goal number 2 for the Mob.
Yeah, a little bit of a great pass here from Dirty, but an even better read from Goop coming in to get that soft side angle as Mr. Manager's calling for the skip.
Oh, you know what that means. We can never skip, which we don't anyway. But Mob setting themselves up a kickoff goal again.
The second time that this has happened for Mars and the third time total. This is interesting. You don't see this too often from kickoffs, but maybe teams have got to adjust a little bit, maybe send one person back to not get boost right off the beginning.
That was one of those where the fast kickoff yet again gives them an advantage in spacing and zones, and in a hurry, the casuals have seen their lead cut from 2 to dead even. This is being very reminiscent of one of their earlier series where they were up against the Avalanche by 2, and then all schemes and plans went out the window, and they eventually lost that one. I bet they're hoping that that doesn't happen again. Oh, Manager, he had no boost. Had to jump and just pray. Esper is trying to make a dab at it. Mr. Manager, this is gonna go slow and low, and this is gonna hit the ground. Overtime. It's survival time for the Mob. Mars from kickoff. Gonna go to Esper. Esper booting it downfield. Big Poppy with the shot. Oh, but Dirty with the save. Big Poppy
That
back
could
to
have been
Esper.
a really quick overtime.
Oh, it was almost there. The Casuals, they are hungry for a win. They've won some games, but not a series, and they want it so bad. Big Poppy. Oh, that one just went wide. Dirty sent it high. So many shots now coming about. Mars.
Poppy misses.
Oh, this is just an onslaught. A non-stop barrage of shots from the mob as they keep rotating one after the other. Mr. Manager and Big Poppy combine for a pinch. It's not fast enough, though, to beat the defense of the mob.
Yeah, Casuals are going to come out of that with their kneecaps intact.
Oh, Dirty over to Goop. No, to Mars. Mars with the shot. Esper with the returning send. Nearly boomed it the entire length of the field. Dirty's just into the sidewall. He's going to try and carry after it himself. Can't get in front of Mr. Manager. Oh, Mr. Manager. He had a beeline for Big Poppy. Big Poppy's going to send it to Esper. Esper's going to rotate up on it. The full double commit. But, luckily, it's not too bad. Little bit of apprehension.
You go. No, you go. No, you go.
A Canadian
I
standoff,
insist.
to say the least. Big Poppy. Oh, one wonders why he flipped out. Whoa, but Dirty is sighting that 90. Can't quite grab it. This one's going to go a little bit high from the crossbar. Goopy's there for the strike. And we're going to game number 5.
My goodness, yeah, great little play here. Espar tries to send it along, but unfortunately sends it back towards the center. Mars hitting it off the top, and Goop able to bury it to make sure that Mob doesn't go quietly.
Oh my goodness, Mob able to come down from come up from a 3-1 deficit and take it in overtime with Goop leading the charge.
Now, if Mob is able to come back and win this series, I have a petition to make Joey Wheeler their official mascot.
Oh my goodness, that'd be great to see. I want to see it now. But you gotta be feeling for the Casuals. It's history repeating itself, and in the worst kind of way, where they had the advantage both in scoring, just dominance, the possession, and it has just it's gone like magic, like a pile of pixie dust just floating in the wind. And they have now got to be feeling some of the most tilted and some of the most frustrated that I could ever see a team be. Oh, and
it'll be interesting to see how they kind of utilize their experience in the last week where they were in a similar position, but unfortunately lost, to see if they can really tailor their game plan to ensure that doesn't happen again this week.
Most definitely. We're in Urban Central. This is the final game of the final series of week 2 of the Summer Draft Series that is presented by the Frontline Gaming community. I'm glad you've all been able to join me for this dramatic finale that I knew would be the showcase game of the day. Of all these sweeps, I'm glad to see some high-octane competition. Ooh, a shot coming in. Esper rolling backwards, and Goop able to do it all himself.
Yeah, this ball just sends it right past 2 of the Casual defenders as they're a little bit locked up. Espar just sitting there, and Goop and Dirty both get past him, but Goop's able to send that in.
Esper started rolling backwards, realized it would not be fast enough, and Goop was just too quick for him. I wonder if they've made any kind of game plan to really stop these kickoff goals. What do you think maybe they could do? Just send the second man, leave a man back? What do you think?
Yeah, what I think really the best strategy to ensure that those kind of goals don't happen.
Woo. Speaking of goals happening.
Yeah. So Mr. Manager getting a little chippy, bumping Dirty, and Dirty unfortunately gets a little red in the eyes. He ignores the ball to go for the shot against Mr. Manager. A little irresponsible, because that serves it up on a silver platter for Poppy.
I think that he maybe was trying to do that because of there still being Mars in the background for the mob, and he thought maybe if he did it fast enough, it would open up a clear lane. But Big Poppy had the same idea, and actually that bump helped him just clear the whole lane for him. Oh, this is a slow drop. Oh,
That might be the case. But to what I was saying earlier about the kickoffs, basically, the best strategy that I think a team could utilize in this would be whoever is the man on the kickoff to kind of denote which way that they're going to be sending the ball, so that maybe the defender on that side knows to come back, but then the defender on the other side, who's not expecting to get the ball from the face-off, to maybe come back in instead of going to boost, come back in towards the net. And then if the ball doesn't come anywhere near them, then they can go back to get boost.
Definite sound strategy. I mean, just gotta. I'm always a coward, so I always stay in net as much as I can. And it looks like the mob needed to do the same thing, because Esper found the back line and just sent it right past everyone he could.
Yeah, Dirty, unfortunately, trying to check it away from Poppy, sends it off his own car, leaves a nice little shot open for Espar as he gets this long one from his own zone.
Gotta thank Nifty for the cheer. And what a series this is indeed, all the way to Game 5. I was hoping that the final series would be this high octane, that we would be able to make it all the way to the last game. I know the casuals they're gonna try and push and push and push. They're realizing defense needs to be there. But you know what? They need to get a lead and they need to keep it.
Yeah. A little bit of heckling for the casuals from Phoenix PRB here in the chat.
Of course, Phoenix already. If he can't say it while he's casting, he'll say it while he's in the chat. Shows how brave he is. Goop trying to lay it up over into Mars. What a nice delay. Ends up being kind of a good teed up, but can't quite do it. Mr. Manager. Lay it up from the wall. Not a lot of power behind it. Oh, but the delay nearly went to the net. Dirty. Dropping this past Poppy. Poppy a little bit slow. Esper pinching it off to the corner, and this is going to give Mars some opportunity to play with it.
Ooh, as Mr. Manager almost comes in and slams that goal.
Yeah, that was close. Dirty had to make some good work of it. Esper to Poppy. Poppy, he's going to fly, try and dribble. He's going to be in the way with that Fat Mobile. The spacing just wasn't there. Ooh, Mr. Manager with the no touch. He's like a falling rock. Should have opted for some boost instead. He's gonna follow up on this one. Mars is gonna follow up. No, it's gonna be Poppy. Poppy actually dropping it off to Goop. All three members of the mob were in one spot. Not a good spread for them if they're gonna try and get these offensive passes going. Mr. Manager lifting this one up again. Over to Esper, but no. Dirty with the long clear. Casuals have that victory in mind. Big Poppy getting bumped out of the way, but Esper in good position. Big Poppy to Esper. Esper, oh, just barely missing that touch. Poopy. Big Poppy again, Mr. Manager.
Great coming out.
To Esper. This mob team, if they're going to make something work, they're going to have to clear it, and then they're going to have to make one of their very intense aerial plays work for them, because right now it's been just like one man clears it, another man tries to make a play, and nothing else comes of it. Oh, what a doink!
Ooh. Yeah, great little play from Mars right there to redirect that towards the casuals net, but Poppy's in a good position to shadow defense clear that out.
1 minute remains. 1 goal separates our teams. This is the last game they get. Big Poppy reeling backwards. Mr. Manager is just going to drop it off over to Mars. Mars is going to give it to Goop. Goop with the no touch. It goes a little bit higher than he wanted. But Mars, captain of this mob team, follows it up. Esper's going to have to go backwards, but Big Poppy, captain of this casuals team, is going to burden himself with the responsibility of the ball. Extra touch. Oh, I think he may actually take it away from Esper. Mr. Manager. Oh, he's clearing himself out of the back line, but Big Poppy was in quick rotation.
Yeah, 30 seconds for Mob here.
Oh, my goodness.
See what they can do.
Mr. Manager with the clear. It's going to be a clear game now. No more cheeky business from the casuals. They are sweating bullets. Goopy gonna try and hand off to Dirty, but no! Big Poppy denies that play. It's gonna have to be Mars. Mars with the long one out from the wall. No touch. It's there. It's still there. No! Hey,
So
leave
no.
in a hurry. As the casuals take it at Game 5.
No last-minute heroics from Mob, unfortunately for them, as Poppy really just sends it out. Any offensive chance that Mob had in this last game, Poppy was there to take away in short order.
Definitely. This Casuals bunch, you had to feel for them, and they worked their butts off. 2 different times they've had just leads evaporate in front of them, and they finally are able to have their heels dug in, weather the storm. They beat the Mob, and they have their first win of the season. The Mob right now, they're feeling familiar pastures from all these other teams. They are now currently winless, 0-2, meeting up again, with the Nova as well, who are also 0-2. But still a lot of good things to sing and praise about the Mob. Goop, Dirty, Mars, a lethal combination. It's just about consistency. They got to be able to not just be one-trick ponies or just too tricky of ponies that can't really put it in the back of the net.
Mm-hmm. And great adaptation from the Casuals to take the lessons they've learned from being in the same position last week and really making sure that doesn't happen to them again this week.
Most definitely. And thank you, Nifty, for enjoying my the sneak peek video. For anyone that wants to watch it again, we have highlights from week 1 if you want to see it. And again, thank you, Rainstorms, and thank you, Phoenix, for being my fellow casters. Everyone, please thank Chills End. He's an amazing game day admin that helped us coordinate all these teams and get into all these servers. And thank you guys for watching. This has been the Frontline Gaming Community's Summer Draft Series, week number 2. At 7:30 tonight, we will be doing more 6-mans. We call it the Interim League, but it's more of like Combine League. So we get to show off more of our free agents. And just like you said and saw before, there's a lot of movement going on, or a lot of opportunity for movement amongst these teams, whether that be trades between the teams or trades into the free agency. That just provides more opportunity for the free agents to get a chance to show off and say, hey, I'm ready to play. Pull me up, coach. I'm ready to go in. Final thoughts as we head into the end of today?
I thought that this was a pretty good week to watch. A lot of sweeps, though. Three sweeps, 2 of them from the Knights, and so that'll be tough for them to fall back on. But this is shaping up to be part of the season where captains get a little bit more of a feel for their team dynamic and how that's going, and maybe they can look at tonight's interim league games to really see if there's any talent still left in the free agency pool for them to tap into as we go forward into the next weeks.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Phoenix? How did you feel about today?
Today was good. It wasn't as high pace and actionful as the first week, but I think the Casuals. I'm pretty proud of the Casuals for bringing it back. I was in full support of them.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yep, I knew they were gonna win. So really good games this week. I think everyone is getting a good chance to play. I think everyone's having fun so far.
Also, we want to thank Apple Pie Hunter. Dropped, I think, 130 bits. Very nice cheer. Thank you for everyone that cheered and for everyone that follows. I can't always keep up with it in real time, but for subscribers, followers, everything, you guys support the league directly, and for that, I thank you for your views and for everyone being here. If there's anyone that you guys would like to host, we always like to make it a tradition to throw as many viewers as we can at either like a lower streamer, someone that's fun, someone that deserves it. We like to spread the love as much as we can. If you guys are in for it, though, we are also going to be doing, of course, the combines later tonight. So, double stream if you want to just kind of see the different stuff. Next week, we'll be again starting at 2:30. We're sticking to this schedule. I believed it worked out really well. We added a little bit of time to each of the different games. We'll be facing a 6 series stretch, so it'll match a longer bit of time that we did our first week. And so, look, it looks like we have one to host. So, without any further ado, this has been the FLGC for the Summer Draft Series. And I thank you so much for joining us. And, see you later this evening.
Bye-bye.